Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into Tom Curran's Patriots Talk podcast. We got a good one today. Steelers are coming into town. We're also going to talk a little bit of Hall of Fame. I put a poll out there for quick slants. We're going to talk about who you guys think should be the next Patriot inducted. It's going to get very, very stacked in the next couple of years. Gronk, Amendola, Hightower, McCourty, Slater, all those guys. Belichick will be coming up in 2028. If he doesn't return to the National Football League, which I would say is a slim chance right now. But we're going to get to all that, and we have irrelevant questions with Antonio Gibson. Who was your AFC Special Teams Player of the Week? Deservedly so. But before we get to all that, let's talk about this game. Patriots are 1-1. They're in second place in the AFC East. They got the Steelers coming in. Patriots are trying to win 2 straight for the first time since November of 2022. That would improve their home record to 17-27. In the 2020s. Mike Vrabel's real anxious to break the trend. Mike?
It's been about 3 years since this team put together back-to-back wins. How important is it in the culture, what you're trying to build, to get some momentum with stringing?
It's always important to win as many games as you possibly can. There's a lot of stats here, guys, that I'm not familiar with, nor am I concerned with, right? The focus is, trying to build some consistency, which would then lead to confidence and continue to build on what we did and prove the things that we have to fix, and then continue to eliminate some of the things that we feel like could get you beat. And so I'm excited about doing that today through meetings and practice and getting them to get ready for a new opponent, just like we did last week. We cleared the deck and focused on the next opponent.
Interesting answer there from Mike, because he's like, whoa. I'm trying to win 2 straight. I don't care what the hell happened before I got here, but don't try and put that on me. Okay? Maybe if I fail, we don't win this game. It's the first time I've done it. I don't care what happened with Bailey Zappi. FYI. Okay. So what are we looking at on Sunday for Mike to put together his first 2-game winning streak as a Patriots head coach? It's a 1-1 Steelers team. They've allowed 63 points in 2 games to the Jets and the Steelers. They're averaging 395 yards of offense allowed, 150 a game on the ground. Meanwhile, you get the Patriots, and you've seen it. They're giving up 373 of offense, 315 of that is coming in the passing game, and their tackling has been heinous. So Pittsburgh is going to look at themselves and look across at the Patriots and go, we got to be able to beat these guys. And the Patriots, trying to get to Frisky, are going to say, you know what? If Drake Maye plays well enough and we can just tackle and cover, we can beat anybody, provided we are not morons. The Drake Maye point, though, is really the salient one. I know you guys would all agree on that as well, as would Phil if he was here. I said, Phil, you know what? You already got 3 pods this week. Do we want to make it 4? I'm going to give you Thursday off. I'm going to try and freewheel this thing on my own. So there's no Phil. Give me your feedback in the comments. It's going to be, I know it's going to be. We want Phil. We want Phil. No one wants 27 minutes of you. Be that as it may, speaking of May, he has caught the attention of many people. Kevin Cole, from a cool website called Unexpected Points, which I actually subscription followed yesterday because it had some really good numbers in it. He wrote in his column ranking the quarterbacks in terms of adjusted EPA, which is taking everything into account: weather, wind, opponent, quality of throw. And he stacks the players each week. He said, has Drake Maye arrived? It's tough to say, but this last week was one of Maye's best performances as a pro, gaining plus 12.3 adjusted EPA. I know. Maye is in the top 10 overall for per play and total adjusted EPA, substantially leading the rest of the 2024 quarterback class. Did you glaze over? I understand. It's one of those things where you have to read the sentence, then look at the definition, then wonder whether or not that definition means anything, and then look at the other names on the list and say, that guy's good, actually. Oh, that guy played good. So you can see he's in the right company. Now, Daniel Jones was also way up that list. So we'll see about the right company. But Daniel Jones had a nice game. More of the people, though, would be ESPN's Dan Orlovsky. And he had this to say when he was on the Pat McAfee show. More accessible, I should say. More accessible than Kevin Cole's EPA and adjusted EPA over there at Unexpected Points, which I do recommend.
Drake last year, there was a tremendous amount of growth in his feet in the pocket and his movement and throwing in rhythm and timing. And then this game, it was like, listen, there's a lot of remnants in this game of Ben Roethlisberger and Josh Allen and just the style of play. If you just took the jersey, there's a lot of stuff that looked like early guys of Ben Roethlisberger and Josh Allen style-wise, big time.
It shouldn't be a stunner to anybody that Drake Maye is involved in conversation after not having, as Kevin Cole termed it, one of his best performances. It was his best performance. Not a lot to pick from in terms of longevity. He's had some good games, especially a game last year against Buffalo in a narrow loss. But he took care of the ball in this one. Even in that Buffalo game I think he was also 19 for 23. He had a pick and a lost fumble among two fumbles. He took care of the ball. That's what a number 3 overall pick is supposed to do, which does kind of dovetail into the conversation about game balls earlier this week that was so hot in the game ball topic. I think that Mike Vrabel looks at Drake Maye and says, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be efficient. And Mike Vrabel has been on Drake Maye's ass in a positive way, I think, since he got here, whether it was in minicamp when I watched Maye throw a ball away on an aborted play, might have been OTAs even, because it wasn't a real 11-on-11 or 7-on-7 play. And Maye threw it into the ground. And Vrabel said, we're not doing that. Hey, we're not doing that. Just wants to get a standard of expectation from Maye. And, whether it was telling him to hurry the hell up during practices, you saw in Forged in Foxborough telling Maye to get the hell over and speak to his teammates, have constant dialogue. Mike Vrabel wants Drake Maye to be a certain kind of leader, and he wants Maye to expect that. And he's not going to be giving out participation trophies or game balls, maybe recklessly so, in not giving out a game ball. But Maye should expect to be able to go 19 for 23 for 230 yards and secure a win on the road with some key third down completions. That should be the standard. Not 19 for 23, but don't throw any picks, have an efficient ass game, and walk out with a win on the road. That's what so I don't blame Vrabel in the least for sending the message of, I'm going to give one to Slappy, kicker. I'm going to give one to part-time. We don't know if he's a linebacker or a safety, Mapu. We're going to give we're going to give one to Zach Kerr, who stepped in, and even though the defense got ripped up, he still had more on his plate. We're not going to give one to the quarterback. You're good. I'm not going to give one to myself. Look at Vrabel's face when they were giving out the game balls. He didn't really even want to accept one. We're the leaders here, you and me, Drake. We're watching out for everybody else and making sure they get fed. And Vrabel did say that in his opening press conference. I'm going to expect more from my best players. So, all that said, the game ball stuff didn't faze me. That was a sidetrack. But what I think is becoming interesting is teams are going to have to start to defend Drake Maye with a scintilla of fear in their bones, because he's starting, or at least did, because I don't think the first game was good. You know what? It wasn't horrible. He just made too many mistakes. He still went 30 for 45. But I think they're going to have a scintilla of worry that this guy might go off on us. And interestingly, for Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, it revolves around Drake Maye's legs.
They got quarterback mobility in the form of Drake Maye. He does a really good job of extending plays and making plays with his legs. And so, the weeks where quarterback mobility are a factor, that usually has your attention from a rush and coverage perspective. You have to be real solid in the rush to eliminate downhill escape lanes, et cetera. You got to be ready to cover, extend it as they utilize their legs to extend plays, and that's certainly been an asset of his game since he's been in the league.
Wrote a column earlier this week about the Patriots getting traction, and it's uneasy traction. It is muddy going up a side of a hill on rocks, stream coming down. Your tire might slip. It's not going to be strict, just blazing right up to the top of the hill. This is going to take some time, and he's going to have some fits and starts. Does he need this game to validate what he did last week? I mean, what happens if he doesn't? What happens if he goes and throws 3 picks? They're not going to revoke his contract, turn him out into the cold. But if football is a game of confidence, and that position is a position of leadership to which players expect to be able to turn and say, this is our leader, this is the guy whose performance level we can count on each week. Yeah, he does need this one. He needs to perform in a way that, as Phil has termed it a few times, they won because of him. You can't win just with him. You have to win because of him. And you can't lose because of him. They didn't have many of those games last year where they lost because of Maye. They also didn't have many with Mac Jones for a long time. I remember thinking that. The games the Patriots were losing early on in Mac Jones' career, they weren't losing because of him. They weren't really winning with him either. But that's a side story. You need to win games because of Drake Maye, and this would be a prime opportunity. Steelers are getting lit up on defense. Your defense is going to go up against one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in Aaron Rodgers, who has annihilated Patriots defenses in past years, knows what he's looking at, is not going to be fooled, and certainly with the Patriots defense that is still getting to know each other and all of its responsibilities and hasn't been able to tackle worth a lick, Aaron Rodgers is going to look at this thing. He could be smoking ayahuasca or whatever the hell it is he smokes and watching through sunglasses with the stereo turned up loud to the Hollies or something, and still find enough areas to light up this Patriots defense as he's sitting there watching film. So to me, Aaron Rodgers probably expecting to have a good game. Drake Maye has to expect to have a good game as well. If Drake Maye is going to have a good game, at some point, Pop Douglas has to be a factor. So far, he's got 3 catches. I believe it's for 8 yards, 1 touchdown, and he was not deployed very much last week because of the nature of the game. Might happen again this week because the Steelers cannot stop the run, and they're allowing 150 a game on the ground, as I mentioned, and Pop Douglas is not going to be digging out any safeties with his blocking downfield. So it might be a limited situation for him too, but Phil Perry talked to Pop in the locker room a couple days ago, and here's what Pop had to say about his role, since it is so meager compared to what we've anticipated and what we saw throughout the summer in terms of targets. Said, for an athlete who loves the game, that part is frustrating. Yeah, but man, at the end of the day, I'm blessed. We got the dub. That's the W, which stands for win. That would be very selfish of me to come in here angry after a win. I can't be mad. We got the dub. I did play a little, but we came out with a divisional win. That's correct. They're going to need Pop Douglas at some point. Where are the matchups that the Patriots are going to flourish? Where will they be challenged? How about TJ Watt on Morgan Moses? How about Cam Hayward on the middle of the line? See how Garrett Bradbury performs. So far, Garrett Bradbury's been terrific. The Steelers do have a corner situation. Joey Porter has been injured. We'll see whether or not he's able to play. But offensively, it's not just Aaron Rodgers. It's DK Metcalf and one of the best tight ends in the league, Pat Freiermuth. So the Steelers are going to walk in here with more talented players than the Patriots. They have a future Hall of Fame quarterback who, while you might want Drake Maye on your team for the long haul, if you're going to walk into a stadium on Sunday and want a specific expected level of performance from the quarterback position and know you're going to get it, you'd take Aaron Rodgers. You know what you're going to get. And Rodgers is, quite frankly, put up better numbers than Maye in the first 2 weeks. Had an unbelievable first game against the Jets. So the Steelers are a better team. They're going to walk in looking at the Patriots and saying, this is a team we should beat. Patriots are going to probably be predominantly ground-based. They're going to look for Hunter Henry, who the Steelers, in listening to Mike Tomlin, are going to focus on trying to take away. And I would not be surprised if this game actually does get up there in the point department, which is foreign to have to say about the Patriots, who for the first time broke 30 points, the first time since Bailey Zappi led them to a 38-0 win over Cleveland. Or was that 38-15? Something like that. It was the week after the 29-0 win. that happened in 2022 as well. So back through the archives we go. Meanwhile, let's segue over to Christian Gonzalez. 51 days passed between the time Gonzalez limped off the field with his left hamstring bothering him until he returned to practice on Wednesday. And we've been watching and waiting and waiting and watching for a long time. And we've had plenty of speculation as to what exactly was keeping somebody down for so long with a hamstring injury. And some of this conversation is centered on whether or not Christian Gonzalez is protecting the goods, understanding that, look, I want to play at 100%. I'm a young guy. I have the opportunity to get a second contract that will take care of generations of Gonzalez's. And one of the things that has fed that conversation remains what Mike Vrabel said when we asked him at the beginning of training camp about Christian Gonzalez and what Mike's expectations are for Gonzalez this year. I'm going to read you what Mike said. Question was, in the spring, you and Drake talked about increased level of expectations going into the season. I'm curious, do you view Christian Gonzalez through the same lens? And Mike said, expectations in the National Football League are high. They should be. That's what our job is. Everybody's got a different situation, things that they're trying to get done, things that they want to accomplish. My biggest job and one of my most important jobs is to try to get the individual to be able to maximize their earning potential within what they're trying to do with the football team. Those two things can coincide. We all understand we're in this business. We're in professional sports outside of winning to provide for our family. That's what this is. It's professional sports. So with that, you have an individual element and you have this team, and they have to coexist. You have to allow players to understand that, show them where they're doing things to help themselves, but maybe not the team, and then show them examples where they're helping themselves as well as a team and understanding how those pieces could fit together. I don't know why Christian Gonzalez, a question about him entering his third year, elicited that answer, whether it was just a jumping off point for a greater point that Mike wanted to make at the podium and Gonzalez was the person who the question was posed about, and it could have been Caleb Von Chase on. I don't know, but he did, which made everybody, or at least me, say earning potential. Gonzalez worried about his earning potential right now? You're having a hard time with Gonzalez and like the stuff that he's doing? Is he putting himself ahead of the team here a little bit? They concerned about that? Well, 6 days later, there was a hamstring injury suffered by Gonzalez on July 28th. A day after that, we got this tidbit from a national guy. Jordan Schultz said, sources, Christian Gonzalez suffered a hamstring injury that will sideline him for a bit, but I'm told it will not impact his week one availability. And again, 51 days later, Gonzalez is back at practice. The biggest question to all of this is what took so long? And I get why teams are tight-lipped on injuries. But if Christian Gonzalez was set back, or if it was a severe hamstring injury, it doesn't do him any good to keep that under wraps so that the media is sitting there saying, is he kind of doing a holdout until he's 100%? There were 4 cornerbacks last year who were all pro. Gonzalez was one of them. And if he plays at that level, he's going to have multi-generational wealth. He wants to be as close to perfect health as he could be before he's out there. But the fact is, for the Patriots, 70% of Christian Gonzalez is probably better than most of the league's corners. So you have that push-pull reality that's never going to go away in the NFL. And I tried to ask Mike about that on Wednesday. Mike, one of the things we have to deal with when we're talking about injuries is we're not supposed to speculate, but everybody speculates. You as coaches say, how long is it going to be? We as media do that. When something is imagined to take a shorter time and it takes longer, and I remember Bill talking about this. We don't talk about timelines because we don't overestimate or anything. But is it hard for a player to not have his injury understood by the public?
I don't know. You know, I mean, I certainly nobody. I guess if everybody's looking for somebody to blame, and I'm not. You know, I mean, I'd try to just get them back as soon as they can get back and make sure that they're staying engaged. And then, you know, we have to decide how long that's going to be. Is there short-term IR, all these different things that come into it. But everybody wants to blame if it's not in some window that the doctor on Twitter suggests or recommends. Again, having had numerous injuries, they all recover differently, and had players that have recovered differently. And it's like, well, why did one injury take this long? And is it, the player not working hard to come back? Is it the trainer's fault? Is it this person's fault? I've said this, the injury rate in the professional football league is 100%. If you play this game long enough, you are guaranteed to get injured. I don't think you can avoid that. I think it's just how you handle it and, kind of go from there.
It just doesn't help you guys to put it out there how long somebody's going to be out. But
Well, I mean, why? Because it could be shorter or it could be longer. And then when it doesn't meet the timeline, then somebody's going to come back and say, well, you said it was going to be 2 weeks. I don't know. So instead of being wrong every single time, I choose to just try not to say a timeline. And if they are back in a week, then great. If it takes a couple weeks, and there we are. And that's go for everything.
from a
No.
player's perspective, you're like, holy crap, people are starting to think it's taking too long. I wish I could tell people what's wrong with me so that they would understand.
And I think that's great in this case, maybe, but then it's going to be the next thing and the next thing. Like you're going to write, you got all pads and recorders, you're going to write whatever you want to write. They're going to think whatever they want to think. I think to that end, where would you stop?
I tried to tell the guy I was sorry about the interrupting. I just know there's a finite amount of time, and if he answers a question that I did a poor job of phrasing and goes down a direction that I'm going to have to ask another question, I might as well try and intervene and try and make it easier. So there's a little talking over by me. You don't look at to do that as an interviewer. Had to. What are the odds that Christian Gonzalez goes out there and plays 15 to 25 snaps, goes back to the locker room, has a Gatorade and says, I feel great, looking for more next week? I would say the odds of that happening and having this be a non-story for the rest of the season are low. Hamstrings are issues. Hamstrings, soft tissue injuries, they linger, they resurface. When you have one at the start, I don't care if you are mainlining Gatorade every minute of every day, you might get another. They need Christian Gonzalez out there to be the best team they can be. You've seen that in the first 2 weeks. They can't stop anybody in the air, through the air. And even though they have a pass rush now, they're still letting up over 300 yards per game through the air. It will be interesting to see how this defense looks with Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis on the field together at corner. We will be watching. Meanwhile, Hall of Fame this weekend, Patriots Hall of Fame, Julian Edelman, the Squirrel, Bill Parcells, the Big Tuna. They're both going in. I put out a poll today asking my legion of followers. I don't really use Twitter anymore. Oh, wow. It's really interesting. The vote got tight. There's 12 minutes left in the poll. We have 1,028 votes. Julian Edelman and Bill Parcells go into the Patriots Hall of Fame this weekend. Who would you like to see included in 2026? Inducted, not included. Quick slate, tonight at 6 p.m. Adam Vinatieri got 50% of the vote. Rob Gronkowski, eligible for the first time, gets 39.5% of the vote. Dante Hightower, eligible for the first time, gets 5.1% of the vote. And Logan Mankins, who definitely should be in there, is now gone down to 4.9% of the vote. It's an uphill climb because not only is Hightower being added to the mix, not only is Gronk being added to the mix, but Nate Solder's in the mix, James White is in the mix, Danny Amendola's in the mix, Devin McCourty and Malcolm Butler in 2027. So Logan Mankins should not have to go to the friggin' Veterans Committee, and God willing he doesn't. Good fella, an incredible football player, interesting man as well. Put him in 2x2. What are they going to do? Stop you? They're going to say you can't have a Hall of Fame anymore. We don't respect it. People are still going to go. Put Mankins in, but go 2x2. When you started the Hall of Fame, you didn't think you were going to go 20 years of mass excellence. You did. Adjust. Life's made for adjustments. So congratulations to those two guys. I did want to mention two other things. One of the Steelers writers, a guy named Dale Lawley, passed away this week after a battle with cancer. So, I covered the league for a long time. The league, it's, not a long time. I was doing it for 3 years, but I've covered Steelers and been to the Steelers many times. And Dale was always there, hardworking guy about my age, writer, trying to get stuff as much as he could for the fan base and to interact with them and do a good job of understanding what they wanted and also trying to give them insight that they probably didn't have because of their role as fans. So all of our best wishes go out, and I'm sure yours do too, to Dale Lally and his family. He had children as well. So again, about our age. So it was sad to see. Also, I want to mention that Austin Hooper, our guy who was on Irrelevant Questions a few weeks ago, he had a back-to-school shopping event for his foundation on September 16th, and he is going to have more events. He works to raise money for foster care, not just the kids in it, but also to provide funding to help young people who are aging out of the foster care system. So it's certainly a charity worth donating to, and he's a good guy. Really appreciate him. Earnest about things like this. So AustinHooperFoundation.org if you want to contribute to that. Now, Antonio Brown, Irrelevant Questions. Enjoy. This is an edit because I did say to Antonio Brown, yes. Adam Jay-Z said, Gibson? Not Brown, Gibson. Antonio Gibson, Irrelevant Questions. Hey, what's up, everybody? Trying to make a new friend here. It's Antonio Gibson. And I've always thought he was pretty good, but now I'm positive after that kickoff return. You know, I knew it was a scoring play. This year, more than ever, it's a scoring play. You only got one tier to get through. When do you know on a kickoff return that you're about to go?
I feel like the team been doing a good job of blocking it all year, like even from preseason. We had a lot of opportunities, some we missed, and I got kicked to that time 6 times, so we were due for one.
Is that how it goes? Like you're like, okay, I could have had that one, but I didn't do this. I could have had that one, but I didn't do that. Yeah. Is that how it feels?
It's usually always like 1 or 2 guys that, you know, probably, it's a hard thing to do. It's hard to hold that block for a long time. It is one tier, but it's hard to hold that block for that long. But once, you know, everybody fits up and do their part, that's when it's like, okay, like, all right, all I got to do is run past them.
Take me briefly through the mechanics. You catch it, and then do you glance or do you look at your blockers? Do you glance at the progress that the coverage team is making, or do you look at your blockers?
So you do have a read, I won't say who, but you have a read that you have to look in, and you kind of deciding off of what he does. So he goes one way, I go the other. He goes the other way, I go the other way. What's
been your favorite? What's the favorite move that you've ever had on a kickoff return? Is there a spin? Is there a dead leg? Or is it just friggin' go?
Go. I was about to say, you start spinning and dead leg, and that's when you get hit from somebody on the other side.
Get your entire spinal column rearranged. What was your favorite kickoff return touchdown in your career? Because you've done it in high school, I'm sure. You did it in college, community college. You did it with Washington a little bit, and now you've done it here.
That one was pretty exciting. I love that one right there, but I had to go Memphis College game day. That was, like, I don't think nothing beats that. Like, the energy in that stadium that day was crazy.
You grew up in Georgia. As I mentioned, you went to community college in Mississippi. Mm-hmm. Then you went to college in Memphis. Then you were drafted by Washington, spent 4 seasons there before you came here. How is the embrace of New England coming along?
It's good.
Come on. It's different up here.
Yeah, for sure. I was about to say the fans are good, but the fans, man, I know this last year, man, we of course it was real season, but coming off, man, just the positive feedback from the stadium, like, oh, y'all got it, y'all keep going and stuff like that, man, that was a different vibe for me. So I love that. I love the support we have and how they continue to believe in it.
What other sports did you play coming up?
Baseball, basketball. I ran track my senior year. I tried soccer for like 2 weeks. And that was about it.
What was between baseball and basketball? Which one did you prefer?
Basketball. Basketball is probably my favorite sport.
Including football?
Yeah, for sure.
You got golf in there yet?
Golf, not yet. I'm here and there with it, but I ain't complete there. I'm waiting on somebody to take me to a course, but they be tripping.
He's not here, Behringer. He's your guy. He's actually really good at the game. And you guys are specialists. Not that you're not
I don't want to be around somebody that's too good, though, and I be getting all angry and frustrated.
I'll get time for you. So here's a weird thing that I'm realizing now as I get a little bit older. I am encountering guys who are the same age or even younger than my kids. And as a result, I know what they like. And one of those things that I'm predicting Antonio liked, and maybe still likes, is SpongeBob.
My favorite, all-time favorite, for sure. I watch that almost every day.
Literally
every day.
If you had to take a 6-hour car ride with Patrick, SpongeBob, Mr. Krabs, or Sandy Cheeks, which one would you do it with?
6-hour car ride, I'm going Sandy Cheek.
You can't have SpongeBob.
Yeah, not SpongeBob, not Patrick. Mr. Crab, we might end up on the side of the road. He too cheap. Yeah, I'm going Sandy.
Who's your favorite secondary character? Like, would it be Plankton? Would it be Gary? Would it be what's the girl? What's Mr. Crab's daughter's name?
Pearl.
Would it be
Big Pearl.
Would it be Kevin, the jellyfish guy, the bully?
Oh, no, I don't like Kevin. And then the pickles guy. But I have to go. I do mess with Gary though.
Flats?
I'm going to Snell. Yeah. Keep the pickles on his tongue. But I'm gonna go Gary though. Gary be in his own world. Gary really don't be going for nothing, but they don't really understand. But he be in his own little world.
Gary Meow, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he did something. He just said a couple words, but they ain't really understand.
He was off on his own program. You went to the Big E. Nicole Yang from the Globe told me that. I said, does anyone have anything like Boston related? I can ask Antonio. He went to the Big E. I said, what the hell is he doing out there?
We went last year, man. We enjoyed it. So this time we took the family out there and the kids, and we enjoyed it, man. They got this mozzarella stick, fried mozzarella stick with the jalapeno ranch. They got this thing called the bacon bomb. It's like a pork sandwich with like bacon wrapped around it with barbecue sauce. That's amazing. And then they got like donuts hot and ready. Yeah.
That feels like a nap waiting to happen. You can't drive all the way back without
I didn't
taking a nap.
drive.
Good.
I was good.
What do you have a bedtime book you're reading to your kids yet? Do they have that reading to age?
But they all over the place. It's just not one book. We got a mini library in our house, so it's a different book every day, and they take turns picking out books.
They do? Yeah. Which one do you like reading the most? Do you get into the readings?
Yeah, sometimes. Mama usually do it, but I have read a couple. They just recently made me read one called Fat Cat or something, and then one was about poop.
Oh, everybody poops.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Facts.
Yeah, like the cat, it was like the cat, the bird. It was talking about.
Maybe I'm wrong.
It was weird, but they was into it. I was like, all right, cool.
Poops, farts, they're never gonna get tired for kids or adults. All right, who's your favorite Gibson? And I got a little list here. We got Mel, you got Debbie, you got Kirk, and those are all, might predate you. You got Taj, you got Bob Gibson, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, and Josh Gibson, great Negro Leagues baseball star who is one of the greatest catchers of all time. Can you give me one in particular? If you want to rank them, you can rank them. I don't care.
The other, I have no clue, but I just go off the last. I go off with Josh Gibson.
All right, Josh Gibson. Last question. This is kind of funny. We were in the press conference and we asked a question to Mike about how he gets players motivated. And he got mad. He's like, what am I supposed to motivate? I don't motivate, inspire, but these guys got to motivate themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I was about to say, if it take the coach to motivate you, then you shouldn't be here. But I feel like everybody got their reasons why. Families, siblings, friends, how you came up. It's a lot of things like that, man. But recently for me, it's been my family, man. I got a beautiful wife and some beautiful kids, man. So everything I do is for them. So that's my motivation right there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Antonio Gibson, and he just said to me quietly, I got another one in me this week. Did you?
I did. It's go time.